and I'm pleased to point out that 3 of the contributing institutions have been very active in this project, and I must allow me to name them. That is Pride Microfinance, ABSA, and Finance Trust Bank. You have actively participated, and we appreciate this. Honorable Minister, there is a saying, this speech is full of sayings, but this should be the last saying. There is a saying that a boat cannot go forward if each of the persons row in their own direction. I'm happy to say that we have rowed the boat together with the contributing institutions. Permit me, therefore, Honorable Minister, to take the opportunity to thank all the contributing institutions for the support they have given to the DPF. Honorable Minister, the fund is grateful for the support received from your ministry, especially the exemption of withholding tax on our income. However, there are a few areas where we humbly continue to request for your usual support. One is putting in place a standalone DPF law. We are currently working on this, working on a regulatory impact assessment, and Minister, this report should be coming to your office anytime now. Minister, the second point is the need for us to finalize a framework to support government to finance the DPF in that unlikely event that we need the money. And I must stress that this sort of funding would only be called upon in case of a national financial crisis. Otherwise, the DPF is well funded to pay depositors in normal times. Honorable Minister, we earnestly seek your support and wise counsel to enable the fund achieve the above very critical requests. Once attained, they shall form the bedrock for the sustained growth of the fund and indeed sustained financial sector stability. Honorable Minister, I would like to conclude by once again thanking you for honoring our invitation to grace this memorable event. We also thank you for renewing the term of the board members well within time. This will ensure continuity of the fund's operations into the next 5 years. To our contributing institutions, we thank you immensely for joining us despite your very busy schedules. We know that you're always looking at the bottom line, your profits, but you have taken that time to be with us, and we're very grateful. Together, I am confident that we shall grow the fund to become a top deposit insurance entity, not only in East Africa, but indeed in Africa. On behalf of management, I thank all our stakeholders who have been able to spare time to be with us today. To our neighbors, the tenants at AHA Towers, we thank you for allowing us to use this venue for the event. We know there has been some inconvenience on your part, but you have accepted our request, and now we're happy to be here today. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, I take exception to appreciate the founding board of directors, which has been professionally chaired by Mr. Ben Patrick Kagoro. Obugalo. In the same vein, I thank my 10 colleagues who ventured into the unknown and accepted to be seconded by the Bank of Uganda to start the challenging journey of establishing the fund. Obugalo. I also wish to warmly welcome our new staff who have recently joined the fund. The task ahead is huge. However, I'm confident that with the caliber of staff that we have recruited, the fund is going to achieve even much more. Honorable Minister, it is now my singular honor to invite Mr. Ben Patrick Kagoro, the board chairperson, to deliver his remarks. I thank you and wish you all good health for God and my country.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. Honorable Minister, ably represented by none other than Mr. Moses Kagwa. You are growing, like we said. Yes, you will fit in those shoes very soon. That is part of succession planning. Thank you very much. The Permanent Secretary, Secretary to the Treasury, the Governor, Bank of Uganda, the Auditor General, the Solicitor General, Executive Directors and Directors of Bank of Uganda present here, and members of the Deposit Protection Fund, my colleagues, senior management of the fund, distinguished ladies and gentlemen in your respective capacities. It is indeed befitting for me to add my voice to what the CEO has said, to warmly welcome you in your respective capacities on this occasion. As a board, which I'm going to introduce later, this day comes as a pleasant New Year gift and is the culmination of collective effort of all the DPF stakeholders, because without the wider stakeholders, we will not be here. I'm confident that my colleagues in the board would agree with you entirely and agree with me when I state that we have looked forward to this day with a lot of joy and delight. Honorable Minister, permit me to commence my brief remarks on a rather personal note by thanking you for reappointing the board for another term. You have reassigned me to chair the team of a very eminent, distinguished, and committed professional members to serve for the next 5 years, effective end of February. As we prepare to steer the fund into the future, allow me to introduce the pioneer board members who have overseen the operations of the fund up to this point. Number one, we'll start with one, not in any particular order, is Mr. Solomon Okecho. I will introduce him later as he gives the speech for the governor. Council and Mrs. Roy Nambogo. Where are you? There she is. She represents the public. We have Mr. Ike John Vyaruhanga. He represents the PSST and is our chair, audit committee. A very tough one. Mr. Andrew Doxson. No, sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm glad that he got a PhD. He has continued to enhance his capacity in the market. He recently attained a PhD. Now we call him Dr. Andrew Obara. He's representing the contributing institutions. Then we have our gentle giant, Mr. Wilbrod Humphrey Owori. He represents the contributing institutions, and he's the chair of our technical committee, having a lot of experience and institutional memory where the sector has come from. Then we have an educationist, Mr. Emmanuel Kalemam Soke. He represents the public. Okay? So on behalf of my colleagues, I must say we remain committed to performing our tasks with utmost diligence, zeal, and tenacity. Mr. Guest of Honor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the pioneer chairman of the DPF board, I cannot help but ponder on where this long journey started. As already mentioned, we kicked off in a humble way, having been housed at the Bank of Uganda premises. In its nascent stage, a lot of support was received from the central bank, including the staff were seconded to start the fund from scratch. And like the CEO said, we are eternally grateful to the Bank of Uganda, the governor, the deputy governor, and the board. I remember when I was appointed as chair, I didn't know where to start without the staff. I walked into the governor's office. I said, we don't have any policy in the paper how to recruit staff, but you have done it before. I need a formidable team to start operationalizing the fund. He was very kind and asked for proposals, and that's the 5 staff we had, and eventually raised to 11 and 15, but currently we are 47. We are sort of standing on our feet, and we are improving. As has been highlighted by the CEO, the fund has posted a number of achievements over the past 5 years. Nevertheless, the task ahead remains challenging as well as exciting. It is against this background that the board has already put in place a strategic plan. We had a retreat recently to look ahead for the next 5 years, and that is 2022 and 2025. During this period, we plan to accomplish a number of tasks, but I will highlight a few. One, we will continue to work towards having a standalone DPF law. Already the CEO has mentioned this. This will allow us to participate in financing the resolution of challenged banks so that they exit the banking sector in an orderly manner. Even if they don't exit, should they have maybe some challenges, we can work out a way of liquidity management and maybe bailing them out at a reasonable interest. We'll put in place processes and structures to manage the timely liquidation of contributing institutions as mandated under the Financial Institutions Act 2004. We will reach out to the grassroots to create public awareness on the roles of the DPF and encourage the population to place their savings in regulated financial institutions. This will ultimately contribute to enhancing confidence in the financial system and spur financial inclusion across the country. When we started, I don't remember the exact number, but we were just a few million people with accounts in the banks. Below 5 million currently, we are almost hitting 20 million. We'll finalize the funding framework with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development in likely event that we are short of funds and we have to pay, especially in the event of a systemic financial crisis. We'll continue to invest using our own staff as we move forward. We'll invest in the management system. We'll invest the funds. We are building capacity to manage the entire portfolio and manage it in-house, because this will eliminate costs of paying fund managers and boost fund growth. We'll continue to build the eco-friendly office premises, as you have seen, for the DPF, which will not only house the operations of the fund, but will accommodate the need of the fund as it positions itself to gradually evolve into a deposit insurance hub for the East African region and beyond. When I talked to the minister, said, okay, you want me to come to open your office? Is it your own building? I said, Honorable Minister, we are still crawling, but we are renting. As soon as we build ours, we'll call you again, and we are looking to that day. So, Honorable Minister, sir, the above are some of the tasks we have set out to achieve in the foreseeable future. We are confident that with your support and collaboration from our stakeholders and other stakeholders, these tasks will be ultimately achieved. And we are grateful that you have always set time aside to meet us. At the beginning, you are meeting us every month, then quarterly, then at least twice a year. And we are grateful for that you set time aside to listen to us. Allow me at this point, Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, as I wrap up, that once again to thank the Honorable Minister for being here today and ably represented by Mr. Moses Kagwa. I must add that you recently hosted the DPF board at your office for our routine biannual engagements. The fact that you are able to make time shortly after demonstrates the importance you accord to the fund. We do not take this for granted. And to all our invited guests, we appreciate that you are here with us to witness this historic event. Honorable Minister, with those remarks, I would like now to take the honor to invite the Governor Bank of Uganda, represented by our board member, and Mr. Solomon Okecho represents the governor on the board because the governor is a board member. He's a specialist in HR. He chairs our governance committee, and he has done a tremendous job. He's very passionate about career development, about developing skills within the staff, and we're really grateful. Other than that, on his side, that's why we have an eco-friendly office. He's the chairman of all the foresters in Uganda. He's a man making sure that people are growing trees, and that is very important for us in the sustainability of the environment. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to Treasury, the Auditor General, the Solicitor General, members of the Financial Sector Stability Forum, Chief Executive Officers of contributing institutions or their representatives present here, my chairman and members of the board of the DPF, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, the Governor, Professor Emmanuel Tumusime Mutebile, and his deputy, Dr. Michael Atingego, had wanted to be here to witness this occasion themselves. However, due to circumstances beyond our control, they asked me to do the needful. Accordingly, Honorable Minister, allow me to proceed and deliver the Governor's statement. It is a pleasure for me to be part of this important occasion. I joined the CEO and board chairman of the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda to welcome you to this event. I also recognize and appreciate the presence of the contributing institutions and other stakeholders who have made time to be here today. Honorable Minister, reference has been made to the role that Bank of Uganda, BOU, has played in nurturing the DPF. It is the joy of any parent to see their child grow to maturity. It is even of greater joy to have a child that is responsible and responsive to parental guidance. I can state, ladies and gentlemen, without any fear of contradiction, that the board, CEO, and the team heeds good advice. They heed to good advice. The team at Bank of Uganda is a proud parent today after seeing that the efforts put in to grow the institution have borne fruit in many ways. The commissioning of these offices is but just one of those. Ladies and gentlemen, financial sector stability lies at the heart of BOU's mandate. Hence, deliberate steps were taken by the bank to help establish the DPF, to take care of the interests of the depositors of closed banks. Securing the interests of depositors at all times is crucial for building and sustaining public confidence in the financial sector.